Fellas, I'm going to give you your unofficial roadmap for this year. Essentially, all of Witch Queen, what we know so far. Now, a few TWABs ago, Bungie's already given us some information, at least for this season right here, Season of the Risen. And starting on April the 1st, of course, we're going to have things like Trials Labs, returning with Zone Capture, Grandmaster Nightfall starting on April the 5th, Iron Banner on the 12th, Valve the Disciple Master Difficulty on April the 19th, Guardian Games May the 3rd through May the 24th, as well as Trial Labs Freelance and a community voted map on May the 6th. And that's pretty much it, right? With a couple Iron Banners and Trial Labs sprinkled in there. Now, what about for the rest of the year? Let's start first with Iron Banner getting its revamped in Season 17. That's right, guys. Iron Banner is supposed to be getting a huge revamp, and we've seen a little bit of this considering what's happening with the seasonal narrative in Lord Saladin. Bungie likes to make changes with some narratives that are also tied to it. Now, how is Iron Banner going to be changed? What is this big revamp? It's honestly probably going to be very similar to what we've already seen with things like Trials, the Gunsmith, Vanguard, Crucible, etc. Where essentially we're going to be able to rank up instead of just what we have now, which is just turning in tokens. And there's probably going to be some way to direct purchase weapons, I'm assuming, considering at least as of now, I have not seen any Iron Banner weapons being released for weapon crafting, but we'll see. Regardless though, a revamp for Iron Banner is coming next season. Now next, we know that Witch Queen is going to kick off 3-month cycles of content for the foreseeable future, although what is normally happen, at least in the past few years, is that last season is normally longer, sometimes 4 or 5 months. This past season really stretched it out, and that's normally due to the fact that the annual expansions have been pushed back. Lightfall technically was supposed to be dropping this year, but that's going to be next year. Now, this first season being Season of the Risen, which makes a lot of sense narratively, considering the Hive and Lucid Brood, there is some speculation surrounding what the upcoming seasons are going to be. Some are saying we're actually going to have a Rasputin-focused season, or maybe even a Callus-focused season, but no strong evidence has emerged on either of those. And we were really actually thinking that Callus is going to make a return, especially this season, considering the Presage mission, everything with the Witness. We know that Callus is essentially simping for the Witness, but Rasputin does make sense as well, because we just got Mars back. And I vaguely remember a conversation with Mylan about a humanoid version of Rasputin. We'll see though. Now, the deluxe edition of the Witch Queen will also include 2 brand new dungeons to be released in 2022. And we're also going to be getting a remastered classic Destiny 1 raid. Now, this is going to be released for free for all players, and this was actually mentioned in the Witch Queen reveal live stream. Now, what's going to happen is this coming up season, next season, will feature a dungeon, and then the season after that will feature a raid, and then the season after that will feature a dungeon. That's the cadence in which they're going to go. Now, what is this classic raid? Again, this is why this is the unofficial roadmap here. I don't know, but y'all remember that scene with Savathun? 2 truths and a lie. One of them was the return of the Taken King. There's also been some hints and speculation just kind of sprinkled throughout Twitter about the possible return of King's Fall. Now, personally, don't take this the wrong way, King's Fall was kind of overrated, at least to me. Look, I know you guys loved it, the Taken King, all that good stuff. Look, it's a good expansion. I too liked it, and I enjoyed the raid for what it was, but King's Fall doesn't even make my top 3, just saying. Would I still be excited to see it inside of Destiny 2? Absolutely. I think it would probably be better than something like Crota's Inn. If Crota's Inn was to come back, Bungie would really have to do things to make it more challenging, right? Like, we would poop all over Crota. And I don't think it would be Wrath of the Machine. I will say, despite Crota's Inn being an easy raid and not really challenging, it did have some dope weapons. Now, to quote from the Witch Queen reveal live stream, Bungie stated this means, going forward, starting this December with our 30th anniversary event, there will be a new piece of raid or dungeon content in the game every 3 months. So again, for me, it's the average dungeon, then it, of course, is the Vow of the Disciple raid, then we're going to get another dungeon, and then one of the D1 raids, and then a final dungeon to wrap up the year. And at some point, it was also mentioned that a legacy raid and dungeon rotation will be added as well. Now, light subclasses. Quote, one of the changes I'm most excited about are the update to the light subclasses every season of year 5 in Destiny 2 from the Witch Queen reveal live stream. 1 per season until all light subclasses are done. Then we put our heads down for a while. Now, this is interesting because this leaves 1 season open. This was brought up here recently, how we already have Void 3.0 now, and if we get another 3.0 subclass next season and another one, well, what about the 4th season? What the hell are we gonna get then? Good chance we're gonna get fragments and aspects, which will probably tie to all of those. So something just to give it more potency. And as you know, that 4th season of every year is when everything is on crack, right? Like right now, we have volatile flow inside of Destiny. Imagine something like that, but for Solar and Arc, and then the final season having artifact mods for all of those. And as as we've seen from previous seasons, that fourth and final season, man, introduces some of the most potent artifact mods. Now, as far as these subclasses, I've been saying for a while now that Arc 3.0 is going to be the next subclass to get updated, and then Solar. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, Kevin Yanis on Twitter actually mentioned one of the animations in the PsyOps Battlegrounds. While you're actually wielding one of those javelins that you're throwing at Savathun, you can blink. And he mentioned how this could potentially be a sneak peek at an Arc ability or an Arc 3.0 ability. At least from what I'm seeing right here, yeah, blink is going to return in some way to Arc, which makes sense considering that Hunter's back inside of Destiny 1 with Blade Dancer could blink. Now, are they going to allow every class to blink on Arc? Perhaps. Or it just might just be tied just specifically to Hunters. Regardless, due to that hint, I kind of drew the conclusion out that Arc will be the next one to hit us. Now, that's not to say Solar won't be next. I could very well be wrong about this, but Solar recently got big nerfs, most notably the Sunspot nerf. Guys, this nerf to Sunspots is ginormous. And I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty much killed hammers for me. And the fact that Bungie immediately addressed the Splendor Helm for Titans as well just kind of makes me wonder, right? Bungie likes to nerf things right before they buff them or change them, right? They work backwards to then work 2 steps forward. And with a Solar 3.0, I do think we're going to get Sunspots back that are just as potent as we had before. It's just going to require us to jump through the hoops of fragments and aspects. So either way, we have some sort of hint for either one of these being the next subclass next. I am still leaning more toward Arc, considering we already have an ability in-game hinting at Arc Blink, but we'll see. Now, weapon crafting. I've had questions brought up about this. Are we ever going to see every weapon in the game added to weapon crafting? Bungie, and I quote, stated, "We have plans to add more craftable weapons, both legacy and new, throughout the year." I'm assuming that with every new season, we're going to see more weapons added to weapon crafting. And this is actually good that we don't have too many weapons added to weapon crafting, because considering the time commitment already just to get weapon patterns and the nightmare that weapon crafting materials have been so far, and I think Bungie just overall needs to drop the cost of neutral elements. Again, all of this is supposed to be corrected and fixed going into the next season, just in time for Bungie to start unloading a bunch of craftable weapons. So guys, that's pretty much all we got going forward without like digging into leaks, which we are not going to do because we're not allowed to. As far as the beyond, as in the future expansions, we do still have 2 coming. Next year should be Lightfall, and the year after that should be the Final Shape. Now, Lightfall, at least from what we've seen, is definitely going to be something in regards to Witness, and of course, the light in some ways fallen, hence the name Lightfall. My question is whether or not we're going to see another February launch of Lightfall, or if we're actually going to see like a June launch. And the reason why I bring that up, Bungie has been pushing each expansion back by an extra month. So if you remember Shadowkeep was a month later than normal. And then Beyond Light was almost 2 months later. And then Witch Queen was many months later than its normal drop time. Because again, Destiny was on a pretty good cadence. They would drop their annual expansion every September. Part of me does wonder if Lightfall is either going to drop in May or June, or if Bungie may go back to that September launch, which means there's going to be a huge, long period of time there with literally nothing. Hopefully that's not the case, but we'll see. What we do think is going to happen though is that with these 2 expansions, both Lightfall and Final Shape, this will be great opportunities for Bungie to release the remaining 2 Darkness subclasses. And if you've seen that video by Kujay going over corruption, I know a lot of us wanted to see corruption here in Witch Queen, and thematically it made sense, but at the same time, considering the reveal of the Witness and what's to come, bringing us those 2 Darkness-based subclasses will probably make just as much sense in those expansions. Now, Bungie did state that the Light and Darkness saga will end, but that, make no mistake, Destiny 2 will not, which I don't really know what that means. Because if we beat the Darkness, right, like what else is there? Like who? The Vex? Is that what the rest of Destiny is going to be? Just us killing Vex? Or is this in fact just going to lead us into Bungie's next IP? Huh? But the main thing to take away from that is that Destiny 2 will continue, as in not a Destiny 3. But here's the thing about all that. Money changes things, right? Most notably, big Sony money. Now, something I didn't mention in all of this was actually a potential sandbox change that'll be coming this season, which is like ammo changes. Most notably mentioned from Bungie, ammo being more deterministic, or at least obtaining ammo, heavy, special, etc. Now, special ammo is the big one because Bungie has mentioned multiple times of nerfing special ammo and special weapon usage inside of Crucible. So there may actually be something going forward at some point this season where we're actually gonna have to get kills in order to earn special ammo, even more so than what we do now. And I already know that Bungie has limited special ammo already in multiple ways, but what I'm saying is they are looking to go a step further in limiting special ammo and special weapon usage. So guys, that is your unofficial roadmap for the season, as well as for the rest of the year. As we begin to get more and more updates, we'll definitely update you guys. The main takeaways: Iron Banner is going to be getting a huge revamp, which is great. Every season, we're going to be getting a dungeon or a raid, and subclass 3.0s are going to be pouring on us for the rest of the year. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.